being on some chill. We go
Number 5.
to 100 real quick. Real quick. Whole squad on that real. 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. Real quick.
Yo, this is the $5 Multi Podcast.
Yo.
My name's Kalisi, aka Cal, aka Lisi, aka the best fantasy rugby player that ever was. Today I'm joined by Willie T,
What's going on?
and Hunga. Yoza, okay, alright. Let's have a little chat about what it is that we're trying to do. Willie, any idea what the $5 Multi Podcast is going to be about?
Just from what I've heard, brief knowledge, it's just $5 and the winnings has to be $100. Is that correct?
That is correct. Hunga, could you elaborate on what we're going to be bidding on?
I think just using our knowledge that we have to try and make some money for the people listening.
I actually don't think anyone's gonna listen to our bits and get on and copy the same bits, but
Well,
we'll see. If you do, leave a comment and don't send us the bill for the money that you've lost. So basically, we're going to be looking at the sports week ahead. Today is a special episode as we're going to be having a look at the first week of the Rugby World Cup. Starts on Friday in Japan. Before we go through on what bets we're going to be wasting our money on, probably you should get to know the people that we're listening to, yeah? What do you guys reckon?
yep, let's do
That's
it.
good, man.
Seki. Alright, well, let's go through some quick fire questions then. Why should anyone listen to us? Willie T, you're on the mic.
Do you want me to go first? Yo.
I did say Willie T, you're on the mic, so...
I'm nervous, alright? I'm nervous. I don't know, like I've got a wealth of knowledge from my playing days, which is I play for the mighty Northern Panthers, which is our local club. And I dabbled in fantasy rugby with the boys, so and I was a one-time winner, so I don't know if that means anything, but to me it means a lot. So
Good job, Willie.
Good job. Do you still have your trophy?
no, it didn't come through. Oh wait,
Sounds
did they? There was a trophy, wasn't there?
There was a trophy that was the year that someone else won. Remember we made that gold one?
Yeah.
For anyone watching on YouTube, I will post a picture of it at this. Like as you're listening, go back to the YouTube app because I'm going to post a picture of what our trophy looked like and try and contain your stiff because it was a pretty badass trophy. Well, no, why should anyone listen to you?
I think just being someone that's been brought up in New Zealand in a Samoan household, rugby's been something that national sport in New Zealand, something that we all look forward to during the winter time, and not to mention the fact that I did go to the Manurewa High School and had a few players there that made Super Rugby. Tim Nana Williams, one of my best mates. Yeah.
Name drop.
So we go back,
How far back?
If you look at Bandiaki, he's now international rugby player for Ireland. So yeah, just some of my credentials.
So you helped them become who they are. Is that what you're saying?
I think I influenced their decision.
Did you play with them? Is that why?
I didn't play with them. I was on the sideline encouraging, and when you're passionate about the game, it really shines through, and you can see how it changes the lives of the people on the field. And I feel like I played an integral role in making them who they are today. So yeah, you're welcome to Nana Williams and Bandiaki. Thank you.
We will be following them on Twitter, so if we could get confirmation whether you knew Hunga, and hopefully his passion, takes this podcast to the next level.
You'll be embarrassed when they reply.
As for me, Willie briefly mentioned there him dabbling in fantasy football or fantasy rugby. Well, he didn't quite dabble as much as I did because I was the back-to-back champ, at which, once I won the second year, did everyone not quit, or what happened after I won the second year?
I think we all just moved on. I think we're just getting...
Yeah.
Just no one cared.
Yeah, no one cared,
No
man.
one cared.
What you guys sound like right now is all Wallabies fans.
Hmm.
It's like, we lost the Bledisloe 14 years. Well, we don't really care anymore. Like, no one cares about it.
Yeah, no one cares.
So that was you guys after 2 years of getting absolutely annihilated by what was my team name?
It was Chan Glorious.
Changlo, yeah, maybe I should have prepared. Look, that just goes to show how much preparation we've done for this podcast. And for anyone out there that was hoping to find some winning bets, probably will want to change our mind right now.
Yeah, just stop wasting your gigs. Your data. Don't waste your data anymore.
Now, probably, actually, yeah, let's have a look. Willie, question for you. Who would you say, of all professional rugby players, who would you compare your game to? Or who,
Oh, well, when I was playing at Northern Panthers, which produced Christian Alefano, Jordan Luesi,
Snatch.
Rob Leota.
Tell us.
Sorry, I thought we were name dropping.
name drops?
Sorry, I thought we were name
Name
dropping.
drops. Pop drops.
Sorry. But yeah, when I was playing at Northern.
Did you play with them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, when
Would
they
you-
played, I was in the other
Do
field.
you have their numbers on your phone right now? Like so we can text.
Yeah, I can message
Okay.
them.
Alright.
Okay.
Would you say you influenced their game?
Maybe. But
Okay.
like, that's the question. I
Yep.
always model my game around Ali Sevilla because I do play like 7-6, whatever, what he's doing right now. Because I'm quite quick around the field,
Quite quick, yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
and quite strong too. So
Ooh,
I don't know.
Haven't heard that.
But
Do you train at Power Core Gym? Because we can confirm the strong.
I mean, but that was back in my junior days.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, yeah. Like
right
under
now-
10s, under
yeah,
10s, under
yeah.
ah, yeah.
But now I play resis. I play halfback. So
Ooh,
I don't know.
halfback. Ooh.
yeah.
okay.
7 halfback.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a transition.
So I can play anywhere really.
Yeah.
So basically, you haven't locked down a spot where people are like, okay, every week, Willie's going to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, pick the team. Oh shit, Willie's not. Willie's not there. Okay.
It makes me the glue. It makes like
Oh,
Every
okay.
team needs a glue guy.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
Make the numbers. Make the
Northern
numbers.
Panthers, you're very lucky to have Willie glue the team. How about you, Huma? Who would you say you model your game after?
Well, I never personally played. Rugby.
Never.
Professional rugby. Sorry,
Oh.
I was almost there. I was amateur rugby back in under 8s. For
Another early peaker.
under 8s. So I played the best rugby when I was at that age. Just running around, folks, little kids, I should say. But
So when the kids were 8, were you 8 or?
no, I think I played my first game on my 21st birthday for the under 8s. Nah, for real, I didn't really play growing up. But I'm a huge fan of the game. But there's players that I've always looked up to. I think Jonah Lomu was one of the players that really stood out. He changed the game, and he's someone that I think. It was sad when he passed away, but he's done a lot for the game, and I think him and his family should be proud of what he's accomplished.
I agree. First ever rugby superstar.
Mm.
As for me, who would I compare myself to? Probably not a fair question, but who would compare themselves to me?
Oh, okay.
Probably 2008 Luke McAllister, when he
Oh wow.
had the step, the fend, the thighs, the eyes, the whole baggage.
That sounded pre-rehearsed thing.
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't rehearsed.
That was like in the mirror. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Speaking of the mirror, Luke McAllister will look in the mirror and
Okay.
say that he modelled his game after me.
Okay.
Just a proud shore boy from Auckland, and that's how we do it on the world stage. Now we'll get to our favorite segment, our first segment rather. Who would you rather, or who do you prefer? This way everyone gets to know whether you guys actually know what you're talking about, or whether they should just put some music on now and turn off this podcast. Richie Monga. Where's everyone sitting on this fence?
Richie Monga and
Oh, actually, I didn't say the second person. That shows where who I was picking.
Richie Maunga, question mark.
Richie
What
Monga
the-
versus insert name, because Richie Monga is the answer. Father's Day.
Sunday.
Richie Monga or Burden Barrett?
for me right now, Brandon Barrett, just due to the experience, obviously it's going to be a big game this week. So the Brandon Barrett all day
Yeah.
for me.
Good answer. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, Beauden Barrett has shown what he can do with the ball in his hands. He can definitely. He's quick off the mark. I think he's probably the quickest off the mark in the All Blacks camp at the moment. And I think when it's when we're looking for something to happen or someone to make something happen, he's the guy to go to, and I can't see Mo'unga doing that in the same position.
Plus, go to Blues, so
Yeah, that's
play
it.
simple.
Well, yeah, I mean, he hasn't put on the Blues jersey yet because I think he's taking all of next year off anyway.
Who? Bodie Barrett?
Yeah,
It's
What's
fine.
that?
because he signed with the Blues, but he gets that sabbatical. Yeah, jinx. I don't know. Like, I think the last 12 months have really shown how much New Zealand struggled with Bodie at 10. You know, a lot of teams have employed the rush defense, and because Bodie's an inferior passer to Richie Bulmer, he hasn't been able to put people in space. And I think he's enjoyed the freedom of playing at fullback. You know, running more meters and having more control with the space. You know, Richie's a better passer, better kicker, better goal kicker. You know, like he's like me. He's the whole baggage.
So do you want Mo'unga at 10 but with Barrett at 15?
Yeah.
Or are we just talking like who's going to start at 10?
Yeah.
That's it?
Who's gonna start at 10?
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I reckon Barrett.
Yeah.
Still Barrett, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 2 wrong answers and the correct answer by me. Well, we're not counting, you know. So everyone that's listening, that's Hunga and Willie picking what?
Bodie Barrett.
The BB gun. All right. Next one. David Pocock or what's Hooper's first name? Michael Hooper.
Pocock. Just
Pocock?
I think he's world class over the ball. I think he played well against Munul to justify starting. Probably wasn't his best performance, but I think he's still one of the best.
It's not even the best team to compare it to. Like, someone's not, the fullback wasn't even that strong.
I think for his first game back, it was good enough, and they were quite physical the Samoa team. So I think that was a good run hit up for him anyway. So I think Pocock over Hooper. No Pooper. Just
No Pooper, you
Just
don't want the.
just start Pocock because they lose out in the lineouts if they play both of them.
That's fair enough.
I'll say Hooper. You know, he's a fresh face. He's something that Australia rugby needs at the moment. Someone that can be a good role model for kids looking up to.
Why? Was there someone that was a bad role model? Is that what you're saying?
I think looks play a big part, and I think he's a better looking player.
Then who?
No homo.
No. Was there a wallaby that you're trying to refer to that was not a great role model?
No. I think they're all great role models.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if we're comparing Pocock and I think they're good role models, but right now, if I was a kid growing up, I would look up to Hooper.
Okay, I just thought you were taking a pot shot there at Israel Folau.
Oh.
Oh. All right.
They speak of that name here.
Yeah.
As a deciding vote, I'm going to go Pocock. I think Pocock, game changer. You know, he's just one of those guys that you need the whole team to get him off the ball. You have to game plan around him, make sure you don't run into his channel. He improved his running in the latter stage of his career. Obviously, he hasn't improved the injuries. But in saying that, hopefully they clean up the way that he gets cleared out. There's a lot of niggly stuff that goes on, which I don't mind, but when it's around his neck area, it's quite dangerous, and I can understand why he's taking so much time off. But Pocock, you've had an amazing career. A lot of people were saying you're close to Richie, which I don't think any of us agreed with, but that's a tall task, and you had an amazing career, and hopefully you have a great Rugby World Cup. Next on the agenda, the South African halfbacks. Faf de Klerk or Herschel Janties? Herschel, what a name.
Yeah. Well, for me, definitely Faf de Klerk. I think his YouTube video sort of speaks for himself. The giant killer defense.
Is that all you watch YouTube videos?
Yeah, that's how I base my information. But yeah, I just think he's obviously proven at international level that he can play. I'm not sure if they're winners, but he has played at a high level. So I like Faf de Klerk over Janties.
Yeah, I had to agree with Wooly. Faf de Klerk. I don't know much about South African rugby or the Springboks in general, but Faf de Klerk is a name that I will back, and I'll put him in my multi for to score a try on that first game against the All Blacks.
What if his name was Sass de Klerk?
Oh,
Oh,
Maybe, yeah, I'll still back him.
Would you sass the clerk?
Yeah, it's got a ring to it. I definitely think he's a good player. I honestly don't even know what he looks like, but I think he sounds like a good bloke.
That's like a young German kid.
Oh yeah,
Young German.
He's
Oh.
a white guy.
Here, I'll show you a photo of Faf the clerk, so you can, so you can know what you're voting for. You see that?
Yeah, he's the one.
He's the one.
He's the one.
The blonde locks.
Yeah, he's the one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with both of you. I'm going Herschel Yantis.
Did you say agree?
Disagree.
Oh.
This is recorded, yeah?
Yeah, he said
We're gonna rewind it. Yeah. If I said agree, then I take that back because I'm disagreeing. I'm going Herschel Yantis because I haven't. When's the last time you heard of someone whose first name was Herschel? It's a great name. And Willie keeps referring to this Giant Killer YouTube video, but if you're gonna think of Giant Killer, Herschel Yantis last minute try beats the best halfback in the world, Aaron Smith, at the pip. And South Africa, how long before all that had they not beaten the All Blacks? So, yeah, I think he adds a lot of zip to the game. I mean, both halfbacks are quite zippy.
Yeah.
But as you know, South African rugby, they have a racial quota, which I don't think anyone agrees with. But they have to have a certain amount of black players, and if you've got two halfbacks that are quite close, why not pick the black one so that you can. There's some other positions where they pick players who are probably not the best in their position, but to fill the racial quota, they put this player in. At least with halfback, Herschel.
What
solid
is that
pick.
quota? Do you know?
I don't know.
So is it 50-50?
Nah.
Not 50-50.
Let me look it up. Springboks.
Percentage.
Did you watch Walking Dead?
No.
Because there's a guy named Herschel in there. I was just thinking of Herschel's. So yeah, just saying.
I was thinking about Herschel Gibbs from the cricket.
Oh, the South African.
Yeah.
There you go, South Africa.
Is that a South African name, Herschel?
Still pumping out the. No, I think it's a
Dutch
name. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Is that why they benched Jesse Krill?
probably to play. Is it Am?
Yeah, and
Yeah. So I don't actually. I'm trying to find what the quota is.
then they started Yantis over Stain.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I like both of them too, but I'd rather Stain.
Yeah, I like Stain.
I think Stain's pretty.
I think Yantis is like he's been given so many different opportunities.
Yeah, he's
And he
too
hasn't-
elusive. I'm not sure.
Well, it's 50%, bro.
It is 50.
I think it is.
Damn. Well, South Africa, they announced their lineup. We'll go through it when we go through the game to game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's 50%.
Nah.
That is a lot.
The South African government and the SARU, South African Rugby Union, have an agreement that 50% of the Springboks team at this year's World Cup in Japan should be black.
Wow.
It should just be the best player. The best player plays. That's it.
I agree. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree with you more, man. But we weren't around during the times,
Yeah, like we
things
don't
were really
know
bad, so it's easy for us to sit here and
Yeah.
say it, but there's a lot more behind it than what we.
political climate
Yeah.
and stuff is
That's
like still pretty bad. I heard sometimes in the Super Rugby games, some teams, the black players and the non-black players, like the white players, they don't warm up together.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but that's something I heard through the grapevine, and I hear a lot of things. So take that with a grain of salt. Moving on, this one was sent in to us by Wooly_T. You know that guy, Wooly?
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Sounds like a
opinions?
dick. This better be a good question.
Nah, I think
Opinions will be.
this is a real jerk question.
Nah, listen to him. I think listen to him.
Okay.
Sounds like a
Tusi PC versus anyone in the Manu Samoa squad.
wow.
Oh, wow.
That's a great
that's
question.
Okay. Well, Uli, since you since you share the same name, let's hear your thoughts.
Look, it's gonna be hard because I think most of our audience would be Samoans and probably some of you related to him. But I'm not a big fan of Tusi PC.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's done. But I'm not too sure who else you put there. But I think he's done.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
Look, with all due respect, I think he's done as well. But I mean, he's had a great career. He's done a lot for Samoan rugby, and for that, I'll always be thankful. But my personal view, I think the best player right now in the Manu Samoa team is my one of my best mates, Tim Nana Williams.
Name drops.
I feel like if they have a chance on winning a few games in the pool stages, I think Tim Nana Williams is the answer. He's the reason. He's the purpose.
He's the answer. He's the real
of the team. And he
I thought you were going to break into song.
He holds the key. He holds the key to unlocking, the wins.
So do you want him at 10?
I'll put him at 10. I'll even have him at the prop position. Like, he's that kind of guy. He was good at everything in school.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be good at any position on the field.
Was he good at picking up gifts?
He was up there. I was always on the front line, but he was always second place.
Wow. If any girls from Rugby World High School are listening to this, if you can also confirm whether
kidding, just jokes. I love my wife.
Oh, backtrack.
Just kidding, and I went to church.
Oh wow.
Every Sunday. Mom.
Personally, for me, I like TCPC. He's been someone that's been solid for us at one of the toughest positions that to be in international rugby. Running the cutter, making those tough decisions, being a solid kicker. So I won't be burning TCPC's jersey because I remember Rugby World Cup where we had can't even say his name, Tasisa Lavea as 10, and that was truly horrible. He sucked so bad. Tasisa Lavea, if you're listening to this, we don't need your confirmation. You sucked. Let me caveat that by saying that he is infinitely times 1 million better than me. So this is from a couch coach perspective.
So what he's saying is sorry, Us. Just kidding.
He cost us a lot of games.
Sorry, Us.
I don't want to say that you were a little bit fatal, but close. Both of you guys cost us a lot of games.
Oh, he even played for the Blues too, which was bad.
Cesar?
Yeah.
I don't think he was that bad at the Blues.
He sucked at the Blues.
Him and Issa Nathiwa.
He came after Spencer.
I like both of them.
It's hard to follow Spencer.
Yeah, it's hard to follow.
But Issa and Tasisa, I think they spend more time when they're here than getting ready for the games.
I think during that time there was all about that here. Even Luke McAllister.
Oh wait, hold up. You can't put those two in the same category as the GOAT. Alright? This is Westlake Boys royalty.
Oh wow.
Can't just be ragging on North Harbour. But was that the end of our so everyone listening, you should know where everyone stands now, how little these guys know. Are you guys big bettors? It's a betting podcast, how many bets have you guys won? What percentage?
For me personally, I'm not a big bettor. I'm always just jumping on. But I'm hoping for the boys to help brother out, make some money. So hopefully by the end of the podcast, I'm richer than what I am now.
This is do you watch those YouTube channels where they cook food and it's beginner, medium, expert?
Yeah.
So this is Willy beginner better.
Yeah.
You're 50-50 lose all your money better, and then I'm pro.
Wow.
Just my fantasy rugby skills.
Okay. Nah, for me, I reckon I've won more than I've lost. Whether that's probably by $10. I reckon I'm up $10 in my whole life.
Oh yeah. Not bad.
No, I've gone down. Some tough times, some hard roads, but I've also come out the other end. A winner. So if there's any tips that you're going to take away from today, I think you should really consider listening to mine because I've got a lot of knowledge when it comes to the betting side of things. So just saying.
Plus you're friends with T and me.
T.
T.
Sometimes it's T.
So I'm surprised that for example, when Samoa played their first game, your first bet isn't Tim and I first try scorer.
Yeah, because it's not actually the odds haven't come out yet for that game. If it has, then I would have put my whole mortgage on that. So yeah.
All right. Well, what bank you with? National Australia Bank.
Just kidding.
Expect a call. All right. So that moves us into the preview stage. Let's have a look at we're not going to look at every game, yeah?
No.
Nah. Let's just look at the games that matter. Oh.
Cut that.
Nah, I'm not cutting that. I'll speak my mind. On this podcast, from me, you will hear the truth. There's just some games that, like if the tournament was in England like it was the last World Cup and the game was at 3 a.m, you're not gonna wake up. And just because it's at a more convenient time doesn't mean you're not gonna be playing PlayStation instead of watching these mud games.
Like what, Namibia and Italy? Was that one of those games?
I didn't name any names, alright? But if that's how you feel about those teams, well, like I hope that, there's an opportunity for you to run us straight to one of the Namibian players.
What game are you talking about? Because I like all these games.
Well, let's go through the games then, and let's see, whether you carry that same energy.
No.
But hold on, let's just take a break before we go through to listen to one of our sponsors. All right, it's time to go through the games of consequence, the games that matter. Before we go through the games, I think we should let everyone know who we're actually going for, who we're supporting. Me, I have an All Blacks jersey. Before every All Blacks game, the day before, I wash my All Blacks jersey. I've got the 2015 Rugby World Cup jersey, which has the Rugby World Cup trophy stitched in on the left sleeve, and it shows the 3 years that we won. Actually, I'm going to edit that if I've got that number wrong. So I'm an All Blacks fan, and I always do the haka when the All Blacks do the haka. Who do you guys support?
Well, I'm Australian born, so by force, I'm going to go for the Wallabies. But I'm also a fan of rugby.
Hard luck, brother.
I'll go for the All Blacks too. I also get.
Oh wow,
yeah.
2 teams, is it? Oh my god.
I'm just a fan of good rugby, and the Kiwis play the best, so. And also Samoan, so gotta support the money.
Do you appreciate good basketball and follow the Raptors as well? Or how far does this...
Hey, it's tough being a Wallabies fan, so...
Okay,
should
alright.
be a rugby fan now.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, no loyalty. He's a Daeezy fan.
Don't follow his multi.
And you?
Me, I'm an All Black fan. I've actually got the 1987 jersey. When they first won the World Cup.
Wow.
It was hard to find, but I managed to get one of those jerseys. Also Samoan. So I go for the Mono Samoa as well. So it's gonna be a great World Cup. But end of the day, I think All Blacks have got the depth, and they've too much depth. They've got a great squad, and they're gonna win it again. 3-peat.
We asked who you support, not who do you think is going to win. So
Yeah, I support the All Blacks and the Mono Samoa.
Yeah, I think we'll also let everyone know that we're all of Samoan descent. Like HB and 1-4 name drops, Mausos.
30 Kings.
I didn't say 30 Kings. Alright, like
685 represent.
So yeah, when we go through the games, you'll see that we spend a lot of time talking about those 2 teams and a lot less time talking about teams like Uruguay and Namibia and other teams that you're not going to watch.
Unless they play the All Blacks and Mono Samoa.
Another thing we should probably let everyone know is that, it's called the $5 multi. We are going to be placing, at the end of this podcast, a multi-bet for $5, which has to win more than 100. And when I win, or if any of these 2 win, we will have a vlog where we go out and we party like it's, like it's going out of fashion, like Manu Tuilangi jumping off a boat, or Israel Dag and Corey Jane taking sleeping pills with their Red Bulls, That's the way it is. So, the first game of the Rugby World Cup is going to be on Friday. Host nation, Japan versus Russia. Anyone got that in their multi?
Not me, no.
I just thought it wasn't worth betting on. Japan were high favourites.
Alright, well, I do have this game in my multi. Reasons being, it's the first game and the refs know it's the first game. It's like, remember when England played Fiji at the last World Cup and the refs let England win? This is going to be exactly like that. And I've taken Japan on the line, which is minus 40.5. They're going to win by 41 or more. Woo. Japan, a bulk of their team is made up by the Sunwolves. So they played a lot together. And Russia lost to Connacht, who play in the Irish League, I think it is. So Japan's just been getting. I mean, not Japan. Russia have been getting smashed left, right, and center. Like, can anyone here name a Russian rugby player?
No idea.
Vladimir.
Vladimir
Uh,
Nurmagomedov.
yeah, Nurmagomedov.
And they're called the Russian Bears. And you know, like I went through each of the Russian players and I looked up whether there's any videos of them wrestling bears. Nothing. Need to change your name. All right, because when I look up Khabib Nurmagomedov, there's videos of him as a young kid wrestling bears. So that's, you know, and his name is the Eagle. So I don't know how you can call yourselves the Bears and you're not wrestling bears. All right, like you're like the Samoa that's not one of nah.
Oh,
Sad. Yeah, Japan. A lot of team chemistry. I look through their team, and you know, because I've got Samoan heritage, I look for who's Samoan in their team.
How many are there?
Bro, let me name the team. Where are we? They have what's Leach?
That's straight Samoan.
I think he looks,
I don't know.
when I look at his face, he looks like Fijian.
He could be. Look, he's an islander.
They got Shota Hori, which you know will know from the Rebels. Asaeli Aivalu. Does that sound like a Japanese name to you? No judgment, Asaeli Aivalu, but you know, like your parents probably want you playing for another team, but they're happy to take that Japanese yen that you're getting.
Levels are real, bro.
Remember how we said that there's Dutch names before? Herschel,
Yeah.
Janties. This guy's name's Wimpy van der Voort. And Lagius.
He's not Japanese.
He's not Japanese. James Moore. Have you seen any anime with anyone named James Moore?
Is it M-O-A? More.
No, Moore.
Oh, more. Oh.
Moore.
Is Hayden Parker playing for the Japanese?
Hayden Parker is not in this 23. He might be.
He's the one that carved up for the Sunwolves.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, the fly half from
Oh,
NZ.
yes. You never know who's eligible these days.
Yeah.
Lomano Lava Lemeki. Tonga name.
That's
Is it
not
Tonga name?
Japanese.
Timothy Lafaele. You know, Tim Lafaele?
Yep.
Way back.
TL.
Charus.
Those.
We call him Laugh because he always makes us laugh.
Well,
Charus.
he calls me.
Oh, does he? Alright, and William Tupou.
Oh, yep. Good old two.
Docs. Also got Hendrik Tui. And yeah, those are the Islanders. So looking forward for them coming through on the first leg of my multi. So that's going to be on Friday. Saturday, France.
What was your bet for that one?
Took them on the line. Japan minus 40.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because when Japan played Connacht, they actually lost. It was a smash of 42-14, right? And then when Japan had their final warm-up game, they played South Africa, who, you know, lost to Japan at the last Rugby World Cup. Japan, yeah, I shouldn't have said that because that doesn't make sense for the bet that I made. But Russia played Italy for their last Rugby World Cup warm-up, and that was the point I was trying to make. They lost 85-15 to Italy. So, go figure. Next game, which will be on the Saturday, number 8 ranked France versus number 11 ranked Argentina. What do you guys? Is this in your guys' multi?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got this game in my multi. I've picked Argentina just to win, so that's paying $2.05. So they are not the favourite in this game, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. I would have thought Argentina. Yeah.
I just thought, because most of the Argentinian players will be from the Jaguars.
Jaguares, you mean?
Jaguares, sorry. And I'm just thinking of a good super season that they'll be in some good form. And I think with Southern Hemisphere teams, we play positive rugby. Well, I think the French sort of play that slow grind rugby. And I think
How many French games have you watched this year?
if I can count my hand, none.
None. Okay. Well,
Just from previous World Cups, I guess.
previous World Cups.
I agree with Willie. I've gone with Argentina purely off the fact that Super Rugby is what we normally watch, and the Jaguares have
Oh, Jaguares, is it?
Jaguares they've done well, and they've proven that they're actually a force to be reckoned with in the Super Rugby. So they've earned my vote. $2.05 for the win.
$2.05 for the win. On our favorite betting app, multi-bet. What's it called again?
Easy peasy, wasn't it?
No.
Multi-bet 69.
Oh yeah, multi-bet 69. So if anyone out there looking to get the best odds, go to multi-bet 69 and use the code, the $5 multi. Lost all your money for your monthly pay. Alright, the next game. Big game. It's my pick for game of the week. Most watchable game. New Zealand versus South Africa.
Yo.
The All Blacks, Springboks, the old foe. Where are you guys sitting on this? Is it in your multi?
It is in my multi. And I've got New Zealand 1 to 12 paying $2.60.
Is that how Australians say it? New Zealand. Haven't actually heard that one.
It's hard, alright? It's hard being a Wallabies fan. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it'll be like a blowout. I think it'll be real close.
I agree.
So I want to try to take the money and go 1 to 12 because 145 is not enough. That's what they're paying.
For the straight up win?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going 1 to 12.
Yeah, 1 to 12.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good game. I personally believe that the All Blacks have a lot to prove on this one. Not only being the first game of their campaign, but I think them coming off with the loss against South Africa earlier on in the year, they've got a lot to prove. So I've got them on 13 plus. Although we've seen the lineup for South Africa, they've put on their strongest team.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I feel like New Zealand will do the same. And I really believe that they're gonna come away with the win because I think a lot of the home crowd there in Japan will be supporting New Zealand as well, so that it'll almost feel like a home game for them. So yeah, I've got them at 13 plus, $2.95, and they're in my multi.
So just for clarification for all our listeners out there, New Zealand didn't lose to South Africa earlier this year. It was a draw, but for any true All Blacks fan, a draw is a loss.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry guys. Sorry.
That's the way with the Lions series. It was a draw, but to us it was a loss.
Yeah.
To everyone that was British, take what you can get.
Yeah, they saw that as a win. You saw how they were celebrating after the game. That was a good series. And I think All Blacks are still trying to prove themselves from that as well. And that happened last year. So 13 plus for the All Blacks for this one.
Springboks lineup has been announced. Yeah, you're right. They've gone full strength. The All Blacks, they haven't listed their team yet. And what are some of the things you guys are looking forward to in terms of like what's going to surprise you when the All Blacks announce their team?
Well, I want to know if they're going to stick with the duo fly halves or the duo pivots because it didn't look like it was working. But obviously,
you mean it didn't look like it when they won 36-0 against the Wallabies?
But that draw against Africa, like in that game. Because it'll be interesting to see whether they start Rico or George Bridge on that famous left wing.
And what about the Lucy's? How the Lucy's going to be made up?
Well, I'm a big fan of Adi Sevilla, so I think you have to try to fit him in.
Yeah.
If you're going to start Kane, then you got to put Adi at 6 or whatnot. So.
Whatnot.
Whatnot.
HP culture.
For me, it's just a weird game. Like it's like the opener for both teams, and after this game, it's all lower tier 2 teams.
Yeah, after this, New Zealand play Canada, and after for the Springboks, they go on and they play Namibia.
Yeah, so they're gonna build up to this one game and then be sort of flat for the rest of the tournament. It's kind of weird to me. I thought they would have put this game last.
I reckon they're gonna do what they're gonna go with what they know, and they're gonna put Beauden Barrett at the 10. They're not gonna have two ball playing halves on the field at the same time. In my opinion, I think they're gonna treat this as a serious must-win game, and then all the other games is the work in progress where they can try out different things. Although it's a serious the nature of this whole World Cup is they're going to take every single game seriously, but I actually think that they're going to take this game. How should I put it? They're gonna be serious about picking the team and making sure that the team that they pick is something that's proven to win games.
Well, the winner of this game will top the pool, and I think the loser will verse the Irish.
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Ireland are
second
going to win
place.
Pool A.
Yeah. So it is a must win for the
Yeah.
All Blacks.
Yeah.
For me, I disagree. I think this is the last chance for Mo'unga to play 10, Barrett at 15, because say Barrett plays this game at 10 and then Mo'unga plays 10 against Canada, against Namibia, against Italy. It doesn't matter if they win 2,000-0. In the Rugby World Cup final, Mo'unga will still be unproven.
Yeah.
Whereas if you put Mo'unga in this game and he does well, then that means in the final you can still use Mo'unga at 10. So even though it's a big risk, I think it's better to get out in the pool stages than if you use Beauden Barrett at 10. It doesn't matter what Mo'unga does for the rest of the tournament. There's nothing he can do to warrant starting in the final or the crucial
I think
games.
it's just too much of a risk. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to verse the Irish in the final, the quarters, because they're ranked number 1 now, but they actually got a good
Yeah,
team.
but those are bogus ratings though. They're not the number one team.
Yeah.
But I don't even know why the All Blacks left it this late to trial that. You know,
Yeah.
Like, why did they? Was it because they were trying to, you know,
That's true, because
make it a
Mo'unga's been,
secret, or you know?
Mo'unga's been proven for the last couple of years
Yeah.
in Crusaders.
Well, there's a lot of players that I feel like should have been given more of a chance. Like look at Lomopi. You know,
Yeah.
the big knock on him is that he doesn't have experience.
Mm.
There was a massive four-year window where
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could have given this guy a go.
But and saying that, I'm a huge Sonny Bill fan, so I mean, if you're gonna not choose Sonny Bill and put Lamapi in, I think the nation would have been divided on like what was right and wrong, and I think they made the right choice in choosing Sonny Bill personally.
Yeah.
But he's only played like a handful of games in the last 2 years,
Mm.
Sonny Bill.
Yeah, I
So
think just
what warrants his selection in the All Blacks?
His paycheck.
yeah.
NZRU paying him a lot of money.
I think his star power on and off the field, he brings a lot to the game, and I reckon a lot of people have, especially in Japan, they gravitate to that kind of person.
But he's aging now, he's not that good looking anymore.
I don't think it's the looks, I think it's the build. You know, the build.
Nah, like I really hate the way that people have been on Sonny Bill's back. You know, through his whole career. I think he's he's been the ultimate professional, and a lot of people have come out. You know, his teammates have come out and said that he brings a real professionalism to the team environment, the culture, and he's one of those people. But even on the field, he's a great defender. You never see him miss those silly tackles, making silly defensive decisions, and his offloads are there. I mean, they're not what they were a few years ago, but he's always getting over the gain line, which in Test rugby you just want that little bit of go forward. And I guess that's one of the reasons I wanted Lamopi in there, because he bends defenses like no one else.
Would you have put Leonard Brown out and Lamapi in?
No, I think
It's
Leonard
hard,
Brown
yeah.
was the form.
Yeah, he was the
12,
form
13.
12 for Super Rugby.
Yeah.
I probably would have. It's hard because then there weren't a lot of like good Hughes, like the only out and out 13
Yeah.
in the squad.
What about Crotty? Was he someone that you would have definitely left in the team? Or Lamapi over Crotty?
Again, tough one.
Yeah.
Because Crotty, I mean, not to get into the sob stories, but he got left out of the 2011 Rugby World Cup. And I think he's definitely earned his time. He's a great player, but him and Sonny Bill are just injury prone. And for anyone out there that's hoping that Crotty or Sonny Bill get injured so that Lamapi can make the squad, please uppercut yourself.
So would you
Bring that on others.
would you start Sonny Bill, because he'll be facing up against Delande, which is a big body? Would you sort of pick your team based on South Africa picking their team?
Nah, I never think that's a good game strategy. I think you should play on what your strengths are.
Yeah.
And then game plan around nullifying their strengths, but your selection, I feel, should be reflective of what you think your team can do.
So just pick the best 15.
Pick your best 15, yeah. Or best 23, because I think the All Blacks think in terms of 23.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't watched the All or Nothing All Blacks on Prime Video, do watch it, because you get a lot of insight into how Hansen, especially the Hansen run All Blacks, the way that they think and the way that they plan.
Yeah.
So I've also got this game in my multi. Let me just double check what my multi was. I have gone South Africa plus 5.5 because the line was 5.5. I think it's going to be a lot closer than 6 points.
Yeah.
Both teams are trying to avoid Ireland in the quarterfinals, so I think they're going to go all out. And just like the last time they played was what, the 16-all draw. Was it, or was it the one game that Herschel Yancey's got that? I think Herschel Yancey's got that try for the draw. So I think it's going to be a close game. That's in my multi. Next game.
I think you skipped Australia and Fiji.
I did because they're not in my multi. Australia, Fiji.
Yeah, I got that in my multi.
Talk to me.
I got Australia 13 plus over the Fijians. And purely based because I think they'll play. It will be a different team to the Manu team that they played. I think they'll start Christian and I think they'll start Phipps. And Nick White. And Nick White around the racks, he carved up the All Blacks. So I think it'll be the same for the Fijians.
Right, I've gone I wouldn't say opposite, but I think the Fijians, I've got them at the line to be within 16 and a half. Purely because they play an exciting brand of rugby. They're always looking for an opportunity to exploit the gaps, and that goes from jersey number 1 to 15. Seeing all of them growing up have probably played sevens in their lifetime, and that's just something that I enjoy watching. The X factor that Fiji possess. So I really hope that Fiji have a good campaign this time round, and I feel like Fiji can win the game, but I'll put my money on them being within 16 and a half. 16 and a half,
that's alright. Well, it's not in my multi, so I won't prolong that game. What's the other game? Ireland, Scotland. Anyone got that in their multi?
Yep.
Yes.
That's the last leg of my multi.
Alright, what do you got?
I've got Scotland to be within 8.5. I'm going purely off their last game that they played against each other. Ireland won by 9 points. Scotland I haven't heard much about, but Ireland, look, they're a great team. It was hard for me to go. It was actually hard for me to not choose Ireland, but sometimes you just have that gambler's that betting.
Degenerate gambler.
That feeling inside you that just tells you, you know what?
What did it tell you?
It just told me, go with Scotland. That's what I said.
Did it?
That's what I said, and I think.
Why didn't you take Scotland on the win then?
No, because he said go with Scotland within 8.5.
Oh man,
let me finish.
Your voices they're very specific.
So I think Scotland will be within 8.5 points. It'll be a good game, and it will be a good opportunity for us to see what Ireland have to bring to the table this World Cup. And again, I think that's a must win for them because I think they're in the pool of death. This is definitely going to be a hard pool for them to come out of.
Did you hear that both teams have Samoans in it?
Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Bundy Aki. He went to Manuel High School. He goes from Ireland. Sorry, if you're listening.
Name drop.
Sorry that I went against you, but I still think you're gonna win. But no.
Are you related to Scott? Is it Maitland?
Sean Maitland.
Sean Maitland. Is that your cousin too?
Just my second cousin on my dad's side.
Yeah. Because he's considered Samoan apparently, according to the Samoa.
Yeah, Samoa Observer. They had a name in there. I thought that was weird, but if he is Samoan, Sharuzo.
Yes. Bernie Barrett's Samoan too.
Yeah. So I betted against the Scottish. I went 1-12. The Irish.
1-12 Irish?
Yeah, I think I've topped that pool.
What's that paying?
That's paying $2.60. So,
$2.60.
Yeah. So I think I'll win, but not by much. So
1-12.
Yeah.
I took a similar bet, but I got a little bit more confidence. I think Ireland, the number 1 ranked team, I think they're really gonna come out and really show that they want to be the number 1 team coming out of their pool, so that they can avoid potentially the All Blacks. Or I guess it's really pick your poison. South Africa and All Blacks, they're really tough teams. But it'd be better if they come out on their own terms by finishing first in their pool. Also, Scotland, I don't think Scotland are as good If I look at their recent form, they smashed Georgia in their warm-up games, but they just beat France, who is like one of the most unpredictable teams. Like they beat them 17-14, but the week before that they lost to France 32-3. They drew with England, they lost to Wales, they lost to France. So I don't think Scotland are in a great position at the moment, and I think the Irish are going to have a strong World Cup, and they're going to come out strong. And so I've put Scotland on the line minus 8.5. That's in my multi, which is going to be winning. So they're on the handicap minus 8.5. That's paying $1.95.
Cool.
Yeah.
My multi is if you tally up my multi is paying $21.26. So if you put $5 on my multi,
Run us through all the games in your multi.
all right, my multi. First leg, Fiji against Australia. I've got Fiji at the line, 16.5.
Fiji plus 16.5.
That is paying $1.90. France and Argentina. I've got Argentina to win. That's $2.05. New Zealand versus Australia. New Zealand versus South Africa. New Zealand to win by 13 plus. That's $2.95. And Scotland to be within plus. That's 8.5 against Ireland. That's paying $1.85. $5 bet on that. We're looking at a return of $106.30.
How much?
$106.30.
All right. What was your name again? It wasn't Willie T, was it? What was it again? Big Wheels?
Willie Moneybags, also Big Wheels.
Ooh.
So my multi is a 4-legger, paying out $20.79. Aussie Fiji, I've got Aussie plus 13, playing 150. France and Argentina, I picked Argentina head to head, so that's paying $2.05. New Zealand South Africa, I got New Zealand 1 to 12. 1 to 12, paying $2.60, and then the Irish and the Scottish, I've got the Irish winning 1 to 12, and that's paying $2.60. So if I put $5 on my $20.79 odds, it's paying $103.94, which is money in the bank.
Nice.
Okay, so the winning bet for everyone listening, come out, copy this multi, jump onto sports, multi-bet 69.
Timestamp that so everyone knows.
Everyone knows? Yeah, well, I am going to timestamp that. So your first bet you want to put on, make sure you guys are writing this down. Japan versus Russia, take the handicap on Japan, minus 40.5. It's going to be a smashing. Next game, Argentina versus France. You want to take Argentina. They're being, together longer, more cohesion. They're going to win between 1 and 12. It's still going to be close because in Japan, France, they're going to be all over the place. But you want to take Argentina. 1 to 12, that's paying $3 odds. Next, South Africa versus New Zealand. It's going to be closer than everyone thinks. Take South Africa, take the Springboks on the handicap 5.5 or plus 5.5. And then your final leg, for the 4-legger multi, for those with 3 legs like me, you want Ireland minus 8.5 because I think they're going to smash Scotland as well. So once you put your $5 on that, the odds are 20.56. So you put your $5 on there. For the mathematicians out there, that's going to pay $102.80. But as we always say here on the $5 multi, bet responsibly. Don't bet money you don't have.
Don't bet your rent.
Don't bet your wife's money.
Make sure your rent is spent before. Bars. Who else has got bars?
Love your wife.
Wow, that didn't even rhyme with anything because that was just one line. But obviously somebody's in the doghouse at the moment.
Godhouse.
God.
We're foaming up. I think we're getting
Alright.
too wasted right now.
Well, that is the first episode of the $5 multi. It's almost been an hour.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it.
Didn't feel like it at all.
Really, some of our listeners have commented already saying that it felt like Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Edit.
It's not live.
Oh, did you guys not think this was live? But yeah, Follow our bets, place your own bets. Let us know if you guys win. Again, we cannot stress enough. Bet responsibly, have fun, watch the Rugby World Cup, and we'll be back next week to talk about the games that were and the games to come.
Peace out.
So far, so forth.